podcast, Eye for Talent, the show where we have an eye for talent. I'm your host, Dylan, aka DJ Cereal Sauce. I'm a YouTube content creator, occasional Twitch streamer, and primarily producer. But this isn't about me, this is about my wonderful guest, because today on the show I have, well, another YouTube content creator. That seems to be the rabbit hole that I go down, because it's really easy sometimes. But this content creator he makes fucking banging videos, so welcome to the show, EXTNT. How are you doing, man?
Good, I'm really good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I want to get the pronunciation out of the way. I want to get the pronunciation out of the way. You
Yeah,
and I talked
okay.
about this prior to the show, but when I read your title, I thought it was EXTNT, as in to the extent with which you talk about something. But you recently informed me that it is actually pronounced differently, so I figured this could probably be a good way to both get into where the name came from, how you pronounce it, and I guess how you're going to properly explain that to people in a YouTube bio, how you pronounce it.
Okay, yeah, this is pretty interesting because I have a lot of friends who've always told me, like, how is it pronounced? Is it XTNT or EXTNT, EXTNT? So the actual proper way you should spell it is EXTNT, and it's actually based off of my old Xbox username, which was EXTNT Spy. But then I thought that was a little bit too long for a YouTube handle, and I was like, it should be just one word, make it short, make it snappy, and just memorable. So I thought, okay, let me cut the A out from the EXTNT and just make it like EXTNT. But yeah, that of course has risen the problem of like, okay, how are people gonna even know how to say it? So I think from now on, I might start introducing myself as EXTNT at the beginning of videos, or maybe adding it in the outro, because you said you saw the bio and the bio said it's pronounced EXTNT on my YouTube channel. But then you thought how did you think it was said?
Yeah, I thought it was pronounced like extant, like with a hard A or something, just because that's generally how you would like verbalize that kind of a word, even though I don't think that word is real. It's more of just a name.
I actually funny story, I looked it up like a while ago, and it turns out it does mean something. If I actually look it up real quick, it should say, okay, so the definition for extant is referring to a document still in existence, surviving. That's what it pulls out. When I was a kid, the Xbox nickname generator just gave me EXTNT Spy, and I was like, that sounds cool. It has an X. Like, you remember those XXX underscore usernames? And I was like, yeah, that sounds like me. That sounds like me. So I just picked it, and it had the word spy. Who doesn't want to be a spy? And so I just rolled with it.
You might be the only person in the entire existence of the world who got one of those Xbox default generated usernames that is both cool and you also decided to keep. That is fascinating to me.
Tell me about it. I've had countless friends who have like just the worst names out there, bro. It's not even funny.
Yeah, it's got. I wish I could remember what nickname they gave me at the time, but unfortunately, it's been, God, I want to say going on like 12 years or something since like I would have first been like given an Xbox, or like given the Xbox username. So I don't really remember. But that's
like the 360 era, because yeah. I got mine like during the Xbox 360 era. That's where I got it.
Yeah, I believe I got mine in. When did the Xbox 360 actually come out? Hold on, we're doing Googling. Xbox 360 release date.
All right.
Because I want to say I was like 11 or 12 when this came out. Oh, the Xbox 360 is hella old. I didn't even realize. Whoops.
How old is it?
It was released in November of 2005.
Wow. That's almost 20. That's almost 20.
Yeah, it's basically 20 years old at this point. The Xbox is almost old enough to drink, folks.
Yeah. If you're in the US, that is.
Yeah, if you bought an Xbox 360 anywhere else, it can drink already. But don't pour liquids down it.
It can drive.
Okay, so I don't know why it's funny because I used to make jokes about like the age of the Xbox 360, but evidently now that I'm put on the spot, I forgot how old it actually is. But crap, there was a tangent I was going to go on relating to that. Oh shoot. Oh, you were like, I want my name to be quick and snappy. One, I think that's good. That's like, there's a lot of content creators that I like that kind of like just encapsulate the vibe that your profile picture and your name embody. Short, quick, snappy, to the point, high quality. You can kind of like expect a certain level of something from them. But I was actually curious if you tried preemptively doing any searches for that name or other names that you were considering, just to see like what kinds of stuff YouTube pulls up. Because my old name before I made it DJ Cereal Sauce was Produced by Milk, which when you Google that pulls up videos of dairy farms. So that would have not done very well for YouTube discoverability.
Not in content. Yeah. No, actually, are you accusing me of being an amateur? Do you honestly think I would have not checked the username? You gotta be nowadays. You gotta know how the algorithm works, man. You've got to be like, you gotta be 2 steps ahead all of the time. Otherwise, YouTube will just drag you down. So of course I did. Actually, you said my profile picture it's short, snappy, to the point. I just did that in 2 minutes because I had no idea what I wanted to have as a profile picture. And if you check every description on my videos I've made, I'm actually asking people like, hey, if you guys have any suggestions for a profile picture and banner art, drop them below because I have zero clue what I'm gonna do with that. I'm definitely gonna change it soon though.
I think the person that I was thinking of when I said short, snappy, and to the point. Do you know who Scruffy is?
Ba, ba, ba. Of course I know who Scruffy is.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so that was kind of the sort of vibe that I got from that. But
yeah, it is true. Black background, white text, and yeah, actually true because somebody actually did mention in my comments like, and I took it as a like really high praise. They told me like, oh, you kind of like have this style that's reminiscent of Scruffy, and I was like, no way, I'm getting compared to that big league YouTubers so early. I couldn't believe it because that was like on my Risk of Rain video. That was on my Risk of Rain video where somebody told me that.
Oh, fascinating, huh? I'm trying to think of, yeah, I mean, I guess. Oh, I'm trying to go. I'm too many like buttons in. If I'm just trying to compare the video, yeah, I guess it's as good of a video as any to point that out. There's not like, I don't think there's one that is more closely adjacent with anything that Scruffy does than any other. So it's a good compliment to get. Yeah. And one of the things that I've told people a lot is that one of the most underrated feelings ever is being a small content creator and being told that like the content that you're making is like high class compared to like what they expected from somebody of like your channel size, or in your case being compared to somebody like big, and especially somebody who you happen to like look up to probably when it comes to content.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, because like you have no idea how much of an ego boost you get when like the comments go like, no way, this channel only has 500 subscribers, the quality is so good. Like I feel super like, I feel the praise. And I'm like, okay, and low-key a little bit of an ego boost because I feel like redeemed in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it's fun, and like I'm happy that people are actually being receptive towards it. Because at the end of the day, like we're entertainers. We're supposed to like give valuable information or have a good personality and good editing and just like entertain the viewer and have a good time and try to build up a community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there's little moments like that throughout the entirety of like the YouTube process, both from the creation of it and as well as anything that happens to happen after the fact. And like, I think I've already mentioned this on either 2 episodes or I've mentioned it on 1, and then I've just mentioned it to a bunch of other people tangentially. But that was kind of the feeling that I got when that Risk of Rain video that you made came up, because it came up in my feed probably a day or 2 after it came out, because YouTube probably knows that's what I've been looking for. And then I was like, oh, that looks like a fascinating video. I'll get around to it at some point. And then it showed up and I got around to it at some point. And obviously then I had to say something because I was like, damn, this motherfucker just took everything that I did in my 2-hour video and condensed it down. So I had to say something. And then to have that response from you being like, oh yeah, you at least, if I was understanding it correctly, that you at least took some inspiration from what I did. I was like, bro, no way he looked at my video and said, hold on, let me cook, and then made this banger of a video.
It was the same way with me. I was like, no way this guy is actually commenting on my video. I was like, there's no way somebody like who's like had a really good video on the Risk of Rain soundtrack, which I did like. So the thing is, before I start working on a video, I usually do check if there's any other channels that tackle the same topics. But they might do it. But if it's not exactly in the way I try to do it with like my pacing and my style, I'll think it has enough merit to warrant its own video. So in your case, I did watch little snippets before doing the video, but I was like, this guy, like he's handling like way more complex and analytical stuff than I am. I was going more for like that visceral feeling you get when playing the game, like
Yeah.
whether it's going towards Mithrix on the boss fight or listening to the rain formerly known as Purple. Like I just tried to encapsulate the vibes, you know. But your video is like way more, I guess. It has its feet on the ground. It's grounded and it has like a really good and analytical approach. And it was also really good because you added some notes on the creator commentary Chris Christodoulou did on that, and I thought that was really good. That was a really good touch.
Yeah, I found a lot of fascination in everything that he had to say about it, and I thought that it was another kind of leg up that I had, is the fact that, like, you know, like the videos that he's made, kind of analyzing everything that he did on it, like they did perfectly, like, fine. But I imagine that a lot of the people who had seen my video maybe hadn't seen his before, and so I was like,
definitely.
And so, like, a part of it came from just my general fascination with everything that he was doing and getting more context behind what he was doing, how he was choosing to do things, and that sort of nature. And so that was kind of just a leg up that I was able to get on the video that I made. But I'm glad that both of these videos exist at the same time, because they both capture such different energies for the way that the songs are handled. And so I'm glad that you have found your niche for how you want to handle these sorts of things, and that what I did didn't stop you from making it, because, I mean, hey, it's a good video, and I'm hoping that that kind of gave you a jumping off point to start finding other things to, what's the word I'm thinking? Like, you just found more additional things to explore and start tackling in a way.
Yeah, definitely. And it also helped that, like, it was my really, really the first video I got that got more than 1,000 views. So it really, like, taught me, like, okay, I can, like, this has a future in terms of, like, I can get people to watch my videos and I can be entertaining, because that's, like, kind of the point that I want to do. I want to add value and bring entertainment, but at the same time, I've also been feeling like I find it hard to just not regurgitate the things other YouTubers have said on the topic, because sometimes I'm like, oh, these guys already talked about this topic. What am I going to add to the conversation? But at the end of the day, I'm just like, man, I want a space where I can talk about things I like. So it doesn't matter if you don't like them or if you think I'm copying some other people. I'm trying to take my own inspiration, put my own spin on it so that it's unique and not just like, oh, you copy pasted this other guy's video, which I usually don't try to do, and I don't do. So that people can enjoy this thing that's actually different from the 15th Risk of Rain music video they've seen, you know? It's like, our videos do happen to be good in the sense that one is apples and the other is oranges.
Yeah.
You can't just directly compare them because they bring way different energies, I guess. Depends on the mood you're in, which one you're going to watch.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think, I don't know, this, whenever the conversation comes up of, like, do I need to be doing this thing because what value would I bring to the conversation, when, you know, Team Fortress 2 is an old ass game that feels like everything has been talked about in, like, the sphere of what you wanted to talk about in your video. But, like, I think a lot of people forget that intrinsically there's still a lot of things there's still intrinsically a lot of different things that a person might value in a game like that they'll bring up for any number of reasons. And I think almost even down to the vocabulary with which they speak on the subject could be enough of a differentiating factor in its own right. Because from what I have found, a lot of people will agree on the general sentiment that you're saying, but sometimes it's the comparison that you make or the way that you choose to explain a thing that gives people more context as to why they feel that way. So, like, just so you kind of understand, like, one of the things that I pride myself on with the videos that I make is that I'm technically, for a lot of things, I'm sort of talking about what a lot of other people talk about in their analyses of these songs, with the main differences being that I'm doing the entirety of the soundtrack and not just whatever ones my, like, subscriber base tells me to listen to just give people, like, a very full experience of, like, everything, coming from the technical understanding of, like, producing music, but then also coming from a background of speech and talking a lot. I can say the exact same thing that a lot of other people are feeling, but sometimes those people that are feeling the same thing that I'm feeling don't know the vocabulary to actually explain that. So even just the way that
That's
you
the thing I
explain
want
things
to.
is what makes you different.
Yeah, that's the thing I really want to focus on as I keep making videos. Just there's lots of people who like this thing, but when you tell them why do you like it, they can say like either pretty like surface level stuff because they don't really have the vocabulary to properly understand and just explain to somebody else this is why I like X thing because blah 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 blah. What I want to do is to get a way better sense of vocabulary and argumentation in my own uh, videos so that people can think like, oh, this guy is getting what I'm thinking, but he's actually saying it and he's explaining it and giving concrete examples to why this sounds good. Like this music sounds good because, oh, not just because of the beeps and the boops, but because of this. Like it can either be in a visceral sense of like the emotions it gives you, which that still is a pretty abstract. Or it can also be like, okay, look at the key, the time signature, and all those other theory, like the harmony and the melody. How are those things working to make you feel exactly how you're feeling right now? That's something I really want to work on moving forward.
Yeah, and it seems like another thing that you tend to excel on is, I mean, well, because I guess you had already kind of explained it, but it's like you, again, we're all sort of thinking the same thing about something like a soundtrack or a specific song or whatever. But like the Risk of Rain video is a really good example of you just being like explicitly verbalizing the exact thing that everybody thinks when they're listening to it, but doesn't actually ever say. It's like we all have this intrinsic understanding and knowledge that this song is meant to make us feel this way, and it does make us feel this way. But like, I don't know, sometimes you kind of just have to hit them very directly and obviously with this song, it bangs because look at what's happening right as this song is playing. It's like nobody's talking about it, but you are.
Yeah, like bring the context into the music. Because yeah, I also listen to the Risk of Rain OST when I'm driving. But like, you're not just thinking about the song; you're thinking about when the song was placed in the game, especially with Con Lentitud Poderosa or some of those which are really context based.
Yeah.
That's the magic sauce that I wanted to encapsulate in that video.
Yeah, and it again, the proof is in how well it's doing. But let me move here. So I don't. Your videos are like the perfect type that I really like. To me, they're kind of like they're kind of like refined glazing of a game in a sense, and I don't use that as a bad term, even though some people might. It's just like this game. Like I watched your like when we were talking earlier over DMs. I went and watched your Battlefield video, and like I've only surface level consumed content on Battlefield 1, but I think it's a pretty cool game. It's a pretty good game. And it's one of the ones that like, I don't know if I had the hardware at the time, I would have played it. But like, when I look at all of your videos, I'm like, these are the types that I really enjoy. But I tried nailing down what exactly they would like, what kind of niche or what sort of, like, what type of video is this? What kind of content creator is this based on these videos that he's made? What do you think your niche is on this platform?
I don't really know myself, honestly. I'm constantly trying to think. I'm constantly trying to think like, what's my hook? What's gonna bring the people in for the long term? And I'm always like workshopping, like, okay, what if I try this for this video to see what I enjoy the most and what I think. Okay, and there's also like the views because you could be like, this is what I enjoy the most, but sometimes that's not gonna bring the most amount of viewers and people who enjoy it. I've been called like on my comment section on like, oh, you're glazing a lot. And like I do think it's now part of my identity where I like, oh, I love glazing games. But I think that's mostly from a point of view because I think what the world needs right now, and if I'm getting too like, ooh, hunky dory, like oh, what's he talking about? I think like right now everything like I'm gonna sound like a hippie, but like you know how hate sells. Like hate is what gets people to buy stuff and it sells. That's what people like. If you're on Instagram Reels or TikTok, it's usually stuff that's gonna make you feel some way strongly, especially with negative emotions. You're gonna see things that anger you and things that get you sad or angry. All these, I guess, negative and stronger emotions as compared to happiness and just like a sort of chill, I guess is the word, emotion. I wanted to bring like the other side of the table and try to make it like, guys, okay, we get it. We love hating on stuff and being angry at stuff. And that's what the algorithm wants us to watch, because that's what's going to keep us invested in the site. Because at the end of the day, that's all they want. They want your attention.
Yeah.
With my content, I'm like, okay, I might do that. But even if I do it, it's going to be more in a parody. Like, I'm going to be parodying off the hate. I don't exactly want to be a channel who's always like, oh, Battlefield. Imagine if I made a Battlefield 1 game video which has like, oh, the music was super mid, the voice acting, blah, blah, blah. The war attire is anachronistic, and it's not really what they wore during in the war. I don't care about that. I want people to remember why they even enjoy video games, because as we grow up and like as people get older, we kind of lose that charm and that magic, that I guess we get more constrained in the way that we allow ourselves to enjoy things. I want us to remember, like, hey, you don't have to earn a good time. You know, you can feel good without feeling ostracized by feeling good. It's not like, oh, the media wants you to be angry and sad. No, it's about being happy. But overall, yeah, that's my thoughts. Hippie mode over. I just wanna make people like my videos, man. That's all I want.
Hippie EXTNT in the chat.
Hippie EXTNT.
You make an incredibly good point. Like, I guess one, if you were curious about, actually, I don't even think I'd have an answer to what your type of video is either. I think the niche of your videos is the fact that you're diverse in what you're exploring, because like I don't know. Like, even if there's a lot of the videos that you're making that are like, here's this one hyper-specific thing in this game that I want to talk about. And you come up with very out-of-the-box conversations. Like, or you come up with very out-of-the-box, like, hooks and ideas. Like the Mario 64 Understanding Water Themes video. It kind of reminded me of another video that I haven't watched, but it has shown up in my feed a lot. It's called, like, Why Do Shop Themes Literally Sound Like Spending Money? Or something like that. So I think
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I should probably go watch that before I reference it here. But I think a lot of your videos that are like looking at one hyper specific thing in a game, they're very out of the box for what exactly you're looking at. So like even like the Minecraft music video, it's like here's some interesting notes and breakdowns and histories behind the two different eras of Minecraft's music. And you're kind of being transparent with people and sort of opening them up to saying like, hey, both of these soundtracks are pretty good because they're both being composed for a good game. And you can like them or you can dislike them. It's entirely up to your preference. But understand that because of how long running this game has gone, you may have developed a sense of nostalgia for the old music that was playing in the game during a simpler time of your life when you weren't having to deal with a job or, you know, having to go to college or anything. And if you're going to shit on the new era of music, like, that's a little disrespectful, because that's a big part of the music that's drawn in new people since its inception.
Yeah. And okay, just a side comment, you shouldn't say the J word, okay? I feel uncomfortable hearing the J word. As a fellow unemployed human, I feel really scared. I get a jump scare every time you say that word, so might want to keep it to a minimum.
Yeah, my video is gonna get censored because of that.
Yeah, age restricted, demonetized,
banned in certain countries.
No, but yeah, you summed it up pretty well. People have different preferences, but that doesn't mean we have to be polarized. We can agree to disagree, or to love both of the two different soundtrack eras, because they're just different and they bring something else to the table. It's not I have to like one and I had to hate the other one. You summed it up pretty well, honestly.
Yeah, and then I think when we're talking about your videos that are more analyzing like a whole thing, like the Team Fortress 2 one is a little bit different because that is actually like a more specific look at like what about the game has allowed it to live for so long. But like with the Battlefield 1 video, there's also like when you're a person who analyzes games, at least to more than just a surface level, you're bound to find things that stick out to you more than other things. And you can certainly talk about everything that everybody talks about when it comes to why a game like Battlefield 1 is good. but especially if you develop a certain appreciation for very specific things about it, then bringing those up also adds a lot of interesting flavor to the video. And for me, at least, with that Battlefield 1 video, a lot of it, like the biggest thing to me was like learning the interesting fact about the voice actors and the conditions that they put them through to get those voice lines to be as realistic as possible. And so I think you're just doing a lot of deep dives into either a hyper specific thing on a video on a game, or if you're looking at the entirety of a video, it's more looking at things, I guess, beyond. Actually, now that I say it, to say looking at a video game beyond a surface level is what allows you to make a YouTube video sounds a bit ridiculous.
I mean, that's why people usually gravitate towards those types of videos, because it's like, oh, he's talking about this thing I also happen to like, but like going into the specific thing he likes about it, I'm in. So actually, funny you mentioned the Battlefield voice acting part. I think that was my favorite part. Like I did for that video, because I also found it like pretty interesting. Like so many times you don't know what goes behind doing all of these. Like a lot of time people just focus on graphics, on how the gameplay feels and the story, but you never talk about everything else that goes into a game, from the sound design, the translations. Like there might be some stuff, just because I don't know multiple languages like Hungarian, German, or some other languages, I might lose some fun facts that I couldn't mention in the video. But it's just a culmination of the amount of people that worked in it that made such a polished and full game that everywhere you look, there's Easter eggs and there's tiny little details. That's what like makes a game like Battlefield 1 one of my favorites, in terms of like, even take off the gameplay, strip it off, you're gonna find a really solid foundation that just makes a great game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think as like a very quick note about the thing you were mentioning about like shocker, I like making videos on games that I like, because in the internet landscape they like to push.
Way.
They
I
like
thought you hated Ultra Kill. I thought you hated Ultra Kill. Oh no way.
Oh yeah, I sunk 300 hours into this game out of spite.
About this, bro. No, it's over for you. You hate video games?
What are you even doing on this platform? Get out of here.
Get out.
But it's like I mean, I guess one, I have to fully agree with the like, I like a game, I'm going to talk about it. What are you, stupid? But like, I've made a lot of posts across various things. I've made a bunch of side comments across various social media platforms, kind of taking a jab at the whole the whole notion of glazing, because I think it's just a way for miserable people to put down people who really like a thing. And like in the most recent Risk of Rain video that I did, there was a part in it where I was talking about how like the one song composed for the new DLC that was made by Stavros Marconis instead of Chris. In the original video, I said like, oh, I can feel how different these two things feel. And then when I made the follow-up video, I really had to like look deep into the whole thing and ask myself, can I tell the differences? No, not really. So then I was like, okay, let me actually start breaking down. Yeah, no, actually, yeah. And like, I guess ultimately, if maybe I can notice a difference between this upcoming DLC and new stuff, I don't know, maybe it'll be pointed out, but like, who cares? Chris endorsed Stavros for a reason, because he's really good at what he does. But because I was focusing on all the technical aspects of what was going on in that song, I realized I was like, I'm shitting on my former self for the way he was treating the song, despite the fact that he really enjoyed it. And if you have a problem with the fact that I really like this song and am saying a lot of good things about it, so fucking be it. God forbid a man enjoy something in his life.
Because that's exactly what happened with the TF2 video. A bunch of angry Redditors got angry that somebody praised their own fucking game, and then they're like, "No, send an army, call the war horns, get the pitchforks. This guy likes TF2. No way!" Like, bro, I can't fathom, like, what do those guys do in their lives? Do they just like hating on the stuff they like? Do they even remember why they like Team Fortress? Like, Jesus, those people, like, I kind of felt like bad for a moment when the video first released, because it got a really, in my for context, the video got a Reddit post that really blew up. It was like front page for a couple of days.
Jesus.
And that really just sent waves of Redditors into the video to be just the sickest people, like, I mean, you know Redditors, right?
A little bit. Enough to
You know
know
how they
that,
act.
yeah.
They just Reddited all over the comment section, which, I mean, it's interaction for my video. It pushed it, and I got like, I'm almost going to get to 200,000 views on that video, which is going to be like
It's huge.
insane.
Yeah.
But some people just live to hate, and they got to understand that hate, you should not be giving a fuck about what someone likes. Like, Jesus. People should just, sometimes, instead of doing damage, you should just mind your own fucking opinion and go your own way. Okay? Don't even look back.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing is very bizarre. I'm like, if you want to come in and just start shit talking on me for the video that I made, cool, that's more engagement. But also, sometimes I will be a snarky asshole back to them because I think it's funny.
Yeah, it is. But like, this is, and things like that are why a bunch of people write in the comment section, like, this is why no one likes the TF2 community. And I have to agree with them. There are a lot of rotten apples, but I genuinely think that all of the good stuff that has come out of Team Fortress 2, 1,000,000,000% outweighs all the bad apples in the game. There's a lot of good stuff out there that even if I didn't play TF2 for the longest time. I had it downloaded back in like 2011 and just never played it because my PC was dog shit and it wouldn't run even like CSGO CS Source or stuff like really old stuff.
Yeah.
But then I came back to it and I was like, this is really good. Why didn't I play this sooner? And then but I did live in the TF2 community despite that, because there was lots of, I used to watch the Meet the Team videos as a kid, like nonstop. I would watch Expiration Date, the Meet the Spy, Meet the Heavy, Meet the Pyro. All those videos were ingrained into my brain. And then stuff comes out like Emesis Blue, which is a full horror movie that they made using the Source Filmmaker engine. And I'm like, these guys are mad lads. Like, they're fucking insane. They did I think it's almost 2 hours of a horror thriller that, take off anything that's TF2, it's still such a fucking good movie, man.
Yeah.
And all of that in love to a video game, and you're gonna hate on it? You're mad. You're mad.
Actually. Yeah, my tendency when looking at the Team Fortress 2 community is noting that sometimes the bad apples kind of condense into one spot and they give the game a bad rap. But that's like whatever. You know, you kind of just
Reddit,
you sift
Reddit.
Yeah, mostly on Reddit it seems. But you just kind of sift through them and move on. Like, I've been getting back into Team Fortress 2 again recently just because my friend likes to play it a lot and I like to join him. And like what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks is just playing MVM. And I'll admit, we'll occasionally run into some people who are just, they're not savory people, but they're also never really doing anything. Like we had like a 200 tour, like fucking scout or something who was just, I think we like lost the wave 2 times or something. And he just immediately like got pissed off and left. We had a guy who was playing whatever class he was playing, and my friend who was playing scout missed $6 in a wave and they left instantly. And sometimes I'm like, I'm like, you guys are so fucking annoying. And then 15 seconds later, they get replaced by somebody else. And I went, okay, well, let's keep playing the game. Like, if you just, you take note that they're there and you don't engage with them very much, and then you just kind of move on. And then you don't like bog yourself down with, exactly. Yeah. Don't give them the attention, but like you just don't want to bog yourself down with thinking that everybody in Team Fortress 2 is insufferable. They just sometimes cluster up, and if you ignore them, then you can focus on people like yourself who are like, this game is great. These animated films are great. Everything is great.
Yeah, where everything's golden. Yeah, it's just try not to get dragged down by those people, because those people are just there to drag you down. Just be happy and recognize, like, okay, they're the minority, and I won't let their rage bait get to me. Period.
Yeah, exactly. We can skip over this if you feel it necessary, but I found it kind of like, I hope this doesn't come off as abrasive, but I did find it kind of like almost silly to see how you have 2 videos that are over 150,000 views, and then you have some videos that just sit in the hundreds again.
Stop. My ego. No.
Like it's almost because that I don't know. That's just the way that YouTube is sometimes. Like you put tons of effort into a passion project and then it just doesn't go anywhere, and you're like, damn, that sucks. Oh well. So I guess I kind of just wanted to peer into your mind a little bit and see kind of how you feel about the consistency of your videos feeling like it's dependent on luck. And then as kind of a follow-up, like if you had to say, what do you think is contributing to your bigger videos being big and the smaller videos kind of struggling to gain traction?
Okay, I would say I'm pretty blessed, but also cursed in the sense that I got some of like I consider myself pretty new to YouTube. I just it's been like 4 months maybe. I started I think back in February.
Yeah.
But once I got those two videos that really blew up, and I had some videos in between, and right now my Minecraft video, which I guess you could say is underperforming. Yeah, it really sucks that I put a lot of work into this. I think they might even be like, I think objectively, or at least in my personal bias, feel that my Minecraft video was stronger than my TF2 video. But hey, the algorithm is the algorithm, and it's pushing other agendas, and it might not get the full understanding of what your channel is trying to do. And that's completely not my fault, but it's also true that I don't even know what I'm doing, okay? I try to do just things that I like and find formulas for what I think could be something that's more long lasting and more based on my personality, because as you saw in my Minecraft video, I'm gonna start trying to implement my face more so that it's more of my personality thing. Like it's not, oh, I like Minecraft music. Oh, but more of like, oh, EXTNT made a video on Minecraft music. I kind of want to see what he has to say because he usually has like good insights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's the transition I'm trying to move. Because answering your second question, I think that the TF2 and Battlefield video, they blew up because they're niche communities. And those niche communities, I knew that a lot of them just keep watching the same content. They keep watching TF2 videos. They keep watching Battlefield comments. Even with the Risk of Rain one, I was like, Risk of Rain fans? There's some really strong ones, because like we had a really bad DLC last time and they started fixing it, but like we still fans and we still watch videos and enjoy content. And so with those videos, I was like, here's a niche community that odds are if the videos are pushed to target people who play those games and watch those games on YouTube, it's gonna have views because people will always click on like the more specific stuff you like, because you have to realize that you're not like, you are niche, but part of being niche also means that there's a huge community in the whole world that's gonna want to watch something about your little niche topic.
Yeah, exactly.
So sometimes I feel sometimes like, oh, it's a fluke and like I'm never gonna come back. But I try not to think that, because I really hope that I keep making videos and like keep garnering up a fan base and get people that are truly here, yeah, for the videos on their favorite video games, but also on like the personality, which is something I'm definitely gonna be ironing out more towards like starting now until the end of the year. Because yeah, I want it to be like personality based, add some humor, some really good writing, and really good editing, which is also like good, because all of these things I've been slowly working on, and every video is basically a test to see what works, what didn't, what can I improve, etc. So yeah, that's basically my answer to both of your questions.
Yeah, I think there's those are good answers, and I think I actually hadn't even considered the fact that like, yeah, when you look at your videos that have done well, it's like these are kind of like more niche, smaller communities of people who really like their games, and those are the ones that are doing insanely well, and then the ones that are kind of doing below average by comparison are ones that are like, oh, have you ever heard of Mario? It's this niche IP. It's like, you know.
Is that the guy that jumps?
Maybe, I don't know. He's.
Jumpman?
I think they made a movie about him like a year ago.
Wow. Yeah, so he might be popular.
He might be popular, but crap. I always have like something in the back of my head, and then I like immediately forget it. Let me pull up these videos again.
That happens all the time with myself. I actually feel that sometimes I have to interrupt whoever's talking just so that I don't forget the point I'm trying to make. Because it can either be A, they keep talking and I just forget what I was going to add to that conversation in another talking point, or B, they just start talking on another tangent, and I just incorporate to that tangent and completely go like, okay, guess we're not talking about that now.
Yeah, fuck my side idea.
Uh, yeah, yeah. And sorry if I just killed it, by the way, by going on that tangent.
Oh no, it's fine. This show is about you, not me. Like, I don't care. Yeah, it's, I don't know. What I was gonna say is I don't know if this is correct at all, because at the beginning you were like, what do you think, I'm an amateur? Of course I looked up my name to see if it was showing up in other places. One, you're showing me that you actually put a lot more thought into the way that you choose to handle these things than someone like me, because I'm a bit of an old head in that capacity. I've technically been making videos for like over 10 years, but even that's a bit of a generous statement. Like, I feel like I've really only begun trying to do anything worth a damn, like, since that like the first Ultra Kill video that I had made. That was the point where I was like, okay, I know what niche I'm trying to fit in, but whatever. I think so. I don't know if this is really true, but what I've told a lot of people, who the one constant between all their videos is that they're the ones in it, because you're doing a variety of a bunch of things, going from Minecraft to Risk of Rain, Battlefield, Team Fortress, Crush 40 from Sonic, like all these things. Like, the hope is that the more of these unique and diverse videos that you're making, the more of those that do well, the more that YouTube will realize, oh, we can just push content from you out there, and they're not going to try and tie you down to a niche and only blast out your, if you were to make another Team Fortress 2 video for whatever, YouTube isn't going to pigeonhole you into just focusing on that. But again, I don't know if that's true. That's just my hope for you.
No, that's what I also hope, because the last thing I want to do right now, since I'm doing stuff I like, and I think like, okay, is it worth it to make a video on this? Because like, do I really enjoy it that much, and do I have a point to say? That's gonna make me more of a, like, I guess, variety channel. And my hope is that too. I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's the TF2 YouTuber guy because he made like one video, it blew up, and then he just kept doing TF2. I wanna stand out. I just don't wanna like be, oh, just file him under Minecraft videos. Boom. I wanna be like, okay, file him under EXTNT. And I'm not speaking like, I don't want to sound like super, like, I guess, egocentric, but it's just because I feel like my content is not gonna be that way. I can talk about music sometimes, but I can also, like, my next video, and it's actually like a sneak peek, I'm gonna be basically tackling why the Switch 2 isn't a portable console. And it's gonna be like a whole skit and parody, because it's gonna have its own B plot of how, like, I'm gonna be trying to uncover this conspiracy of what Nintendo's been up to, and like their next big move, because like, oh, like, it's $500 now and games are $80. What are they going to do later? But then, like, by the end, the Secret Service agent from Nintendo is just gonna kidnap me, and that's how the video is gonna end. So it's gonna be like way different. It's gonna be a skit, and it's just like, at the end of the day, I want to have fun, and my channel be about this guy doing good quality videos and people just like watching it, not because he's a TF2 YouTuber, a music and gaming YouTuber, which that was my original intention. But moving forward, I think it's more of like okay, I want to do like just in general stuff I like, but I'm still trying to narrow and create a formula so I can consistently make videos of things that I like over different topics, but they still feel the same, so that they don't feel like detached from one another.
Yeah, that last part about is actually probably the most important part, because I think what happens with certain content creators who do try and make themselves unique in, like, let's say the gaming sphere, for example, where they're like, I'm the person that you can expect these kinds of videos for. Doesn't really matter what type of game that it's on. If they try and go down the route of then trying to do something different, it ends up feeling like something that, they didn't come here for. It's like you're a totally different person, or there's like, it's a different energy in the video where you're like, oh, is this really EXTNT that I'm watching? Like, what the hell is this? Like, that's sort of like the thing that some people end up accidentally taking themselves down in the pursuit of not trying to pigeonhole themselves into something. So it's good to see that you're like paying close attention to the sort of the air quotes formula that you use for how you stylize your videos and write them, and actually, like, I guess in this case, like, act in them in a sense. so that they
No,
remain
yeah, like
cohesive but are very diverse and expansive.
yeah, acting like it will play a bigger role, especially in my later videos, because like as this thing is like a skit and stuff like that, I might start like since I'm incorporating my face more and more, I might go into that more like okay, like I'm quote unquote putting on a character. I'm like this is an Oscar, which my name is Oscar by the way. I don't think I mentioned that, but anyways, like this isn't like oh this isn't Oscar, like he's extant and I kind of got inspired by watching, you know, I kind of grew up a little bit in the sense that I've spent a lot of years watching, you know, Scott the Woz.
Yeah.
Okay, so watching stuff like Scott the Woz really got me thinking like, okay, so he's got like his core formula, right? Where he like talks about absolutely whatever, but it's video game focused. It can be like video game packaging, a video game, and anything. But the way he handles it with having skits in between and all of his characteristics that make him unique. That's why you usually go back to him because you like the way he speaks, the way he presents himself. All of that. It's a performative art. And I kind of forgot what we were talking about because I went on a tangent, but yeah, but yeah, I lost myself there for a bit.
That's fine. No, I mean, it's a good
So yeah,
inspiration to pull from.
Yeah, yeah. No, we were on the point that yeah, basically trying to find my formula. I think it's gonna take a while, of course, but I'm slowly tinkering at it, and I think I'll find my groove and start implementing it by the end of the year, maybe. Let's hope for the best.
Yeah, let's hope. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess the most important thing, which you've already like made a point about this tons of times, but like you're really enjoying what you're doing, and it seems like the entirety of the process is just it's like a science experiment for you that you're really enjoying taking part in, which is great because it helps you refine down what you're trying to do. It helps you explore other alleys that you might want to try and seeing how those things work. And if I'm honest, like for you only being here for 4 months, like your track record is pretty fucking good right now. Like,
thank you. That's actually a good point you made because yeah, as it is an experiment, I also use it as an opportunity to work on my confidence, to work on the way I express myself so I can be clearer. Like there's a bunch of soft skills you start developing just because you're making YouTube videos. And the fun thing is that you can even get paid. Did you know that?
Holy, no way.
Because I did it.
Wow.
No way. Wow. I used to just do it for the thrill of the game, but now that I'm making bands, I'm switching on my day ones. No, but yeah, you go on.
No, you were in the middle of a tangent. I remember my thing. You can go.
Nah, okay. Just
we're not doing this today.
I'm just gonna wrap up. We're not. This is okay. No, but basically, yeah. What I said before, because I also forgot. Go on your point. Go on your point. This is a mess.
I guess. Well, yeah. You're 4 months in, and you're doing really well. You're finding what things that are working for you, and that's incredible. Especially for it being such a short track record. That's great. Because I think about like, I don't compare myself to other content creators in like an unhealthy way or in the way that people traditionally think. But like, I was just like thinking about how you hit the ground running, like full sprinting, like immediately when you started here. And like, again, since I've been on this platform for frankly way too long and at way too young of an age than when I should have been starting. When I finally like when the event that happened in the 2020s happened that I don't think I can still say because I don't want to get demonetized or anything. When that whole thing happened, I was like, I have a lot of YouTube time on my hands. Let me see if I can do something. So I started off by like making these PowerPoint presentation-y ass videos. And then I stopped doing that for a while because I ran out of topics to do and the videos just felt like, I don't know, they were just like bad, which is fine. And then I moved over into talking about like, God, I made videos talking about stuff like the male loneliness epidemic and like things of that nature because I was like, oh, I want to have a place where I can feel important for my opinion on something and where people can come to me for those. It's like a gameplay commentary in a sense, but I'm just here to bring light to issues of that kind of caliber. And I made 2 videos on that and started the writing for a 3rd video on that regarding basically the fact that like it's ridiculous how little people actually get paid for doing anything, and how like society views certain groups of workers as the enemy and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, for context, this is all happening on the background of like Spider-Man Miles Morales gameplay, okay? It's that kind of video. and then I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I have something to say, but these videos suck to make, because how the hell am I supposed to make an entertaining YouTube video on how fucking greedy your boss and the corporation that you work at is? How the hell am I supposed to do that? And so I stopped and just wasn't making YouTube for a while. And now here I am with music, which I really enjoy. So I'm glad you found your thing.
Yeah, but it's interesting you mentioned that, because like that's sort of been like on the rise lately, and I do think it has to do with the thing that shall not be named. But I've sometimes gotten recommended like videos about like, yeah, the loneliness epidemic, and like some other more like, I guess, like logical, or like just society in like a psychological manner, like talking about topics like that you were just mentioning right now over like Minecraft gameplay, sort of like the Reddit stories doing with Minecraft gameplay,
Yeah.
but with that like sort of angle. It's actually been like way more common now that I just see it in my recommended, and like I'm like, you might have been the one that started it all, you know? You might have done the pilot.
My videos got like 100 views at the time. It's funny because I think they've spiked to a couple hundred now as a result of people finding my content and then going back and seeing that, which like that's one hell of an image for me to put out there for people when they come to me for something else. But not, I personally think if I was to go down that route, I'd probably go down the route of like, I'm literally going to put gameplay of like Minecraft or Ultra Kill or Overwatch or some other game talking about the issue on like a TikTok. Because I don't have the heart to make those kinds of videos again, nor do I'm almost convinced that if I posted something like that, that would probably kill my channel.
I mean, could be. That's the thing with YouTube. Like sometimes the algorithm, if you try something different, it'll just kill you. But speaking of something you said, like about me hitting the ground running when I started my channel, I do think it has to do with like the whole origin and the reason I wanted to start the channel. Because like as a kid growing up, I was always like, oh, these YouTubers are like cool. I get like there's Stampy and like Dan TDM, and I used to watch a lot of Minecraft YouTubers when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And shocker, I know, but. Then I never really thought of like, oh, this is a career, and like, oh, this is something like I would ever do either for the love of it or like whatever. I never thought about that. But then this one day in like February or January of this year, I got the flu, and I got the flu pretty fucking bad.
Yikes.
So it was like 2 a.m. I'm all sweaty. I run to the bathroom so I can puke and vomit and all of that. And as I'm puking, I'm like, I should start a YouTube channel.
No way.
I got like my spider sense ticked off or something, and I was like, yeah, I can talk about stuff I like and like get a community going and like just talk to people with like-minded content. And because I was kind of anxious too, because I was like, okay, I'm on college age. I'm gonna have to look at getting a job soon, and like. I think Instagram and TikTok have to do with it, but like right now, like if anybody who's college age starts thinking of a J word, we just snap and like we short circuit and we're like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work a 9 to 5. So I think that's also part of the reason that's like, come on, you gotta do this. You gotta put all your energy and effort on your free time to just like make videos, have fun, and make this thing work. Cause like you don't want a real job. Screw a real job.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just a coward. I'm just a coward trying to make it.
I mean, I think there's definitely a certain level, like, you know, around the I've graduated high school, now what the fuck do I do sort of age of people's lives.
I got that hard.
We're right now. Yeah, we're right.
I got that hard.
Like for a lot of people in that range, it's like, well, after all, YouTube was like a primary form of entertainment for me growing up. Why can't I do this kind of thing? And then a lot of people stop at that because they're like, well, I don't even know what I would do because YouTube has been around as a platform for so long. And, you know, if you're growing up watching YouTube in your free time and you're watching a lot of diverse content. Yeah, exactly. You think everything is done. You're like, well, what do I have to offer to this space? Because I think you just get out of high school and you also don't even know what skills you have yet to bring to people. So it takes a little
True.
while for people to kind of figure that sort of thing out. But, you know, they're like, everything's been done. There's nothing unique I can bring to the space. And so while they want to pursue YouTube or content creation as some kind of like a career path for them, they stop after that thought because they don't know what they're supposed to do. So it's great that you've managed to make that you've been able to make an impact on the website via the personality that you have and the way that you put things out there.
Yeah, I think it's especially like due to the fact like I still don't have a clear vision for what I want my channel to be. I'm slowly piecing it together, but at the beginning I was just like, okay, I'm gonna talk about stuff I like and just go from there. Cause like I couldn't just stay myself in step 0, which is just conceiving the YouTube channel and not actually doing anything. Cause that's like where a lot of people get stuck, because they realize like, oh, I now actually have to like think of a script and record my voice and edit, and maybe people might get overwhelmed. But I was like, okay, stop thinking. What do you like? Sonic music? All right, because I was like really into my Sonic music phase at that time. So I was like, let's just hit the ground running with something I like. Doesn't matter how I sound, because like you this happened to you like when we all started. You hate how your voice sounds. You think you're cringe. You think you're not enough, and like your editing's garbage, whatever. But I'm like, no, sip it. That doesn't matter. Throw that little voice in your head to the trash can, because we're going to upload a video and it's going to fucking rock. You got to act like you're already an established YouTuber. And I think that, along with like just keep the ideas coming. I have a notepad full of ideas, which a lot of them are trash. Don't get me wrong. But like the Battlefield video was inside that notepad, you know, and then I did it and it got views. And it's just about like, keep doing that stuff. Keep thinking, just keep doing things and things will happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, just have initiative. Because if you have initiative, you'll just realize what works, what doesn't. It's like, I play the piano, right? I hate sitting down to practice, but once I'm in the piano, once I'm sit down and I just start playing, the rest, an hour can go by and I don't even feel it. The friction is just starting. That's my biggest takeaway from YouTube and from like life is Roblox. No.
Yeah, the I guess this is the smallest. This is the smallest.
Just start. If
is my ping bad? No, we're fine. No, the just start thing is very important. I have a lot of friends. I've roped in so many of my friends into the content that I've tried making. And a lot of them have told me the same thing. I don't like how my voice sounds. Too fucking bad. Get used to it, because you're going to be in these videos regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think I got to a point of like, I think I got to a point of kind of being able to hear my YouTube voice or my recorded voice at the same time as I hear my voice inside of my head. So now it's kind of just like, it's kind of instilled confidence in me in a weird way, because I'm like, oh, I've mastered the yin and yang of how I hear myself versus how I actually sound.
How you sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, that.
I really just hope that people hating how they sound is not the thing that stops people from making videos, because like, I don't know, you'd think that your passion to try and put something out there into the world is going to overtake the fact that you personally don't like your own voice very much.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna put that point later. Yeah, that a lot of people like if you seriously think about doing this, you can let something as silly as, oh, I don't like how my voice sounds, to alter the way like that you're gonna. It shouldn't make you stop creating what you want to do.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah.
I also find a certain level. I couldn't quantify any of these things, but psychology is also a really big thing that I'm into, and I think that like kind of just the understanding of how I perceive myself and how others perceive me and how certain things can be said to trigger a certain response in people, it has kind of helped make little things like that be easier, I guess. I don't know, I feel like in the current age of YouTube, the only thing that gets in your way is the only thing that should get in your way, or like I guess I should say the only thing that has any merit in getting in your way is like what feels like insurmountable odds, because there's just so many people out there with so many with like you know, kind of going back to the whole, like, what the hell am I supposed to do in this space? What am I supposed to do when Markiplier uploads a video and gets 3 million views in the first, like, 16 hours? You know, like, that kind of thing? Because everything else seems like it's all just such surface level crap that you can just ignore and get over. Like, I guess that's privileged coming from me, because I literally started technically making YouTube videos from the age of, like, 14 or something. So I've had a lot of time to get over my, like, oh, I don't like the way that my voice sounds. Oh, I'm bad at video games. Oh, my software, my computer's... Shut up. Just go do it anyway. Stop being a coward.
Shut up. Just make the video. Shut up. Shut
up. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like every time I talk to anybody about YouTube, it always devolves into a rant of, like, you can go do the thing. Just don't be afraid to do it. If you have the free time to go and do it, just make the best thing that you can and move on. My second less tangent is just this photo I sent you of this tattoo that I have of a chow that I want you to see.
No way, bro has a chow. Damn. Why is everybody a Sonic fan now? Like, or always, I guess. I think that it's actually crazy the amount of people who I've met recently who, like, just turned out to be Sonic fans, and I'm like, wow, there's no way. I thought everybody was like Chris Chan, bro, you know?
Oh no. Don't invoke them.
Do not speak his name.
No, I think Sonic media became fairly popular in the last couple of years with the movies, like, becoming mainstream and whatnot. But so I think that's made people fans. It. But if you're talking about people who are actually fans of the game, I imagine that they've been here for a while. They don't poke their heads up anymore because they know what used to happen.
They're busy hating their games. They're just hating the games with good reason. It's not like TF2. Many Sonic games are in fact trash. And I'm a Sonic fan who almost never plays Sonic games. That's my thing, because I like the music. Yeah, call me 12 or whatever, but I like the movies, bro. I enjoy everything. That's not the gameplay. So whatever. So just, like, feel free to like whatever you like. And the biggest takeaway I've had recently from YouTube is, like, don't be afraid of thinking that you're cringe or something like that. Just because, like, I like Sonic and I'm an adult now, but, like, why do you care about, like, how people will view you if you, like, think of yourself like, oh, I'm a Sonic fan and I'm, like, quote unquote closeted Sonic fan. I don't like how people would perceive me if they thought I'm a Sonic fan. Dude, I think just having the confidence in, like, being able to say, I like this because I like it, bro. Like, I don't care. I think that's something that I had to come to terms with the more I grew up, and especially it came as a revelation now that I started my channel, because I'm doing more out there stuff, and, like, I might have to deal with people then reaching out to me and saying, like, oh, you started making videos on YouTube, I saw you, or, like, oh, a friend told me you have a YouTube channel, and they might laugh or whatever, but I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
I think this is gonna sound kind of silly. I unironically think that getting, like, tattoos like the Chow one that I have is the thing that helped me get out of my own box of giving a crap what people think about the things that I enjoy. Because in my mind, I'm like, there had to have at least been some point in that thing's era that made me like it. And I think the problem is that Sonic fans, they eat really well when a new movie comes out because they're really good, and then they go back and hide in the closet when the next Sonic game drops that's really bad. But, like, there are good Sonic games out there. A lot of them are older, I'll admit, but they do exist. And that's evidently, like, the reason why people like it. So, like, it's not like, oh, I'm a Sonic fan for only this time period, and then as soon as it gets bad, then I'm just gonna, like, yeah. And, like,
I think okay, and I think let's dive a little bit into this tangent on Sonic stuff, because, like, I'm a Sonic fan and I've been waiting to have the opportunity, bro. So, like, what I like about Sonic, bro, it's, like, I just think his design is so fucking cool. Like, even, like, back in the, like, his 90s art from Sonic Adventure 2 up to, like, the Sonic Rush art, I think all of that is just, like, this man was cool at least sometime. And I still think he's not, like, maybe not the modern 3D renders, but who am I to say? You know, I've only played, like, a couple of games, and only the 3D ones. I don't even like 2D, like, Sonic games gameplay wise. But as a kid, I played Sonic Colors and I really enjoyed it. I was like, I don't see a problem. Yeah, some of the stages kind of sucked, But overall, it's just fun going fast and like having this cool little blue hedgehog doing random shit and then turning yellow or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
What Sonic games did you play or grow up with?
Well, I grew so this is so I'm a 2000s kid, but I grew up with a brother who was a 90s kid. My brother's 10 years older than me, so I gained a lot of experience to older games directly through him and because of him. So like I grew up playing the original 3 Sonic games, Sonic CD a little bit and Sonic Spinball for the Sega Genesis, for crying out loud. Um and then I skipped the entire like Dreamcast sort of era, like the Sonic Adventure games, Sonic Heroes. Like I just skipped that because of, I don't know, reasons, I guess.
I mean, the community would say that you skipped over like objectively the best thing that's happened to Sonic, but okay, that's fine.
That's fair. I have respect for what the games did. I just never. I think what it was is that by the time those games came out, the systems that we collectively had in our household, mostly being my brother's, of course, didn't include any of the ones that had any of those games. Like my brother had an N64, a PS1, and a PS2. Like that was it.
Yeah, no GameCube, no Dreamcast. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, no, I mean, even I like I haven't even played Sonic Adventure. I've played I'm halfway through Sonic Adventure 2, but like I've only played Unleashed, a little bit of Frontiers, Colors, and I think that's basically it. Like that's why I'm saying like I'm not really there for the gameplay. I'm just there for like the cool little hedgehog and his. I like the fan art. Like okay, no, that sounded super
with a big like ass asterisk next to it.
Maybe make the biggest. Oh my. That's just gonna get thrown out of context. I like the Sonic fan art. No, but there's like some really cool like artists that just make these super fluid and like cool ass Sonics. Like I just think it's super cool, like the way some artists just create action set pieces and stuff. And I'm like, bro, this is cool. Like how Dragon Ball is cool because like I'm Mexican and like we definitely have Dragon it in our blood. We're like, okay, Goku and Sonic, they're like one and the same, dog. Like
yeah.
They're two yellow people, bro. Yeah, when they get powerful, they get yellow. Like.
Yeah. But no, so I played a lot of those games and then skipped over like the beginning of his 3D era and then came back on like the DS with Sonic Rush. Unfortunately played Sonic Chronicles for a little bit in that piece of shit game. But
it's music.
Don't you dare. How dare you?
It has like the worst soundtrack ever.
The worst soundtrack of not any game ever, but it does show up in a lot of like people ranking the worst soundtrack songs. Like Sonic Chronicles usually comes up there at least once. But no, I was there for the DS era a little bit. But most of my experience in recent time, actually most of my experience period is just with really old stuff from its very beginning inception, and then stuff on the Wii with Colors. Generations wasn't on the Wii. It was on the Xbox. Yeah, Generations was really good.
Yeah,
I played a lot of Unleashed. That game has a chokehold on me, even though people don't like the furry werehog.
Yeah, no, I've tried. Lord knows I've tried to get into the werehog gameplay, but I just stick to the daytime stages. I'm like, I am not playing a 12-minute level where I'm just like constantly fighting and like when then he falls and screams like ah, and I'm like no,
I ain't doing any of that.
Same. But yeah, actually, you mentioned Generations. Yeah, I did play. I played the Shadow Generations expansion when it came out, like the game that re-release. That was really good. That's like the best Sonic game I've played, probably.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would probably say that. It was
back-to-back banger. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and like I was never a Shadow guy before because like okay, yeah, he's edgy, but like I never really cared that much. But then with the movie and the game, I was like, okay, he's kind of cool. He's kind of I fuck with him.
Yeah, I still have that game. I haven't played it yet, just because I have so many like. Shadow Generation seems like it's a fairly quick game to go through, but I have so many goddamn games I have to get through first before touching this other game that I bought. So I'll get to it eventually, and then I'll
be randomly right now.
I'm playing Hollow Knight.
Switching a bit. Hollow Knight. Oh, you're getting ready for Silk Song, I see.
No, I'm getting ready for a project. It just so happened that I
Okay.
started playing it like right as that announcement came out. That was my initial like plan that I wanted to do after this last video that I made. I just ended. I was like, I have a thumbnail for the Hollow Knight video that I commissioned somebody for like 6 months ago. I bought the game a fucking long time ago. I need to play the game.
Now I actually have to play the game.
Now I actually have to play the game, and it's I put like 10 hours into that game over the course of 2 days, and I was like, okay, yeah, no, I think I get it.
I think I get. Yeah, I can give a full review on the game and like its mechanics. Yeah, that's it's gaming commentary channels or like gaming review channels. Like the worst thing the only thing we don't want to do is play the game. Like we literally would be we'd rather do anything else than actually play about the game. It'd be better if we just like, oh, we never played the game, but we just say what everybody else says, and like that's it. Video's done.
It is weird how I did have one very specific person come into my original Risk of Rain video and tell me like, this video is great, but I'm also glad that you just like play the game a lot, so you actually know what the hell you're talking about. And I was like, that's a weird compliment, but I'll take it. I play video games as a part of like a second job in a sense. Like, why? What do you mean? Like, why are you surprised that I play the game a lot?
Have you felt that like? Because I got this after making my Battlefield 1 video. I kind of got the feeling like I didn't want to actually play Battlefield 1 that much anymore, because I feel like, okay, I kind of like made the video, which is like, okay, that's like a crowning achievement. And after that, it's just like, okay, but like I might need to play other games because I have to make other videos. And I don't even have time to play games for fun anymore. I'm just doing it so I can make a video on it. But no, but I've actually like have been having games where I'm having fun, and they might be future videos because I've been playing a lot of Splitgate with friends.
Hell yeah!
And I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised by how, like, I remember when Splitgate 1 came out, Splitgate, and I've had a lot of fun for like a week with friends on Discord, just playing everything every day. But then it kind of like just faded out. But Splitgate 2 is back, and it reignited my love for it. And I'm like, this game is actually a banger. Like, it's fun. It's kind of simple if you like strip everything away from the battle pass. It's like way more simple than like, oh, Black Ops 7 or some other Call of shit game.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm actually having fun, and it would be fun to make a video because I'm actually having a lot of fun, and it's a new game. Insane. So it might be a future video, but
first you have to figure out like, what am I even going to talk about with this game? Because it seems like Splitgate 2 is just like a refined version of Splitgate 1 or the original Splitgate, and they've also figured out a way to get people to buy it. Or they actually have a way to be able to monetize the game.
Get them to get microtransactions.
Yeah, which whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
I guess to answer, I don't know if this was really a question per se, but it sounded like you were asking like if I have the urge to even play a game after I'm done making a project on it. And like certain games I probably would, like, but not necessarily others, because some of these is like you play through this game one time. Like Hollow Knight, for example, I have to play it through a second time for the sake of the video. But until Silksong comes out, or if I end up even like if I end up making the video after it comes out and I'm able to talk about all that stuff, like I don't know that I'm going to go back through and play the game again. I'm just going to appreciate it for what it was, for like the 20 hours or 30 hours of gameplay it gives me, and then I'll just move on.
Yeah, that's fair actually. Yeah, but I still have those games where I'm like, oh, okay, what I was going more for is like, okay, so how has your gaming experience changed? Like what, like when you started making more videos on like your Deep Drop Galactic video and those other games, what did you, which by the way, yeah, Deep Drop Galactic peak, but how did your perspective change with like gaming as a whole? Like, did you stop like having as much fun, or are you seeing it more like as a job but not necessarily less fun? What are your thoughts on it? Because I've definitely felt it change a little bit.
It feels like it's changed a little bit, but I think it's less of like, I'm having less fun doing this because I don't really look at YouTube like a job per se, because essentially what it is I have like 3 or 4 videos that are constantly ticking in views for some reason. I shouldn't say for some reason, it's because it's fucking ultra kill content. But those videos keep ticking up in views, which means that I am getting a little bit of income from them, which is pretty cool. But it's not like the videos that I'm making are doing consistent enough where I'm making them with the intention. Like, even if I make the video knowing that I want to make it on this game's soundtrack, it's not like I'm making it with the thought in the back of my mind that, oh, this is gonna. Well, I think I might have the thought in the back of my head that, like, I hope this does well, but I never, like, assume that it is going to do well, because I've already had, like, 3 instances where it hasn't done well, and I've been like, well, that sucks a little bit, but I still think the video is good and I like it. And the people who do like the video and the people who are a part of that niche community, like RoboQuest, for example, I know that they're really going to enjoy that video. And the money that I get from YouTube is steady but fairly low, and it kind of just keeps going regardless of whether I was going to upload the video or not. So there's that portion of it. Luckily, I don't think it's really changed the way that I've perceived games as like an overall general statement. I don't think it's done that. It has kind of shifted the way that I like have tackled certain games. Like, I would have liked to have tackled Hollow Knight months ago. Excuse me. But I don't know why. I think it was kind of like that thing you were talking about, like the friction of starting something, where I was like, I know this game's going to be good, but it's especially not one that I typically cover or one that I even typically play on my own. So while I know it's good because a lot of people tell me that it's good, and I know that the music is incredible because people have told me that it's incredible, when it came to like, okay, time to play the game so that you can actually experience the game for what it is, get good at the game, and also listen to the music and understand it, it was kind of like, I don't really want to. Like, I don't really want to right now.
Nah, I don't wanna.
And then one day I sort of was like, well, I have nothing else to do. I might as well boot it up. And now here I am 24 hours into the game. I also do have like an actual job. So like, luckily I don't have to concern myself with like, I need to make money off of these YouTube videos ASAP. So it's a little bit of a lazy approach, but I'm also like, I don't know, I just want to come home and just like, I don't know, watch some videos or watch a show or hang out in a call with my friends or
chill.
or play like a random game. And then when I decide that I do want to go and start playing a game for the sake of understanding its soundtrack, I go hard as hell with the game.
Yeah. It's okay. It's so we're not that similar in that aspect, but we are similar in the fact like when we have something that we want to do content for, like we go absolutely hard. Because for me, it's been basically since I started, like my kind of medium term goal is to actually to keep constantly doing videos. My original goal was every 2 weeks, but like since I've been increasing the scope of my videos and the editing and everything, it might have to be pushed to like 3 weeks. And there's also like stuff that happens in between that might not let me upload.
Yeah.
But since I have like this kind of like semi-consistent schedule I want to stick to, it does mean that I have to pour like a lot of energy and time outside of like whether it be college or just summer jobs and stuff like that, where I'm like, okay, I got home, but like I can't rest, I can't doom scroll. I have to like work on the script, edit the video, which by the way, editing, like the first part of edit, just starting the project sucks so much. That's the same thing we're talking about, friction.
It's a little overwhelming.
It just super sucks. But then you get in the flow state, and once you're in the flow state, you're like, okay, we're good now. We can progress smoothly. But yeah, that's the thing with me. I kind of want to go hard because my hope for the medium term, as I was saying, is to create a bigger following and like a more consistent subscriber base and viewer base that can come back every time by the time I finish college. And it might be like best case scenario, it's like a really good supplementary income. But like the best test scenario would be like, oh, this is actually like something I could live off of and keep doing. But that would take like a huge amount of views and money for that to happen. So like that's like the pipe dream, which I am still like working with the energy to achieve that. Because even if I don't achieve it, I know I'll land somewhere near or like somewhere comfortable. And who knows, even if I like do get a job and like just have this as the side hustle or like side project, because I think of it more as of a creative project, because once you think of it as a job, you can kind of get gloomy.
Yeah.
But yeah, think of it as this nice little side project. I can like take my mind off of things, and it's something I can like progressively work towards, and it always gets bigger and better and fun, more fun. The bigger the scope, the more fun it usually is.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my approach right now. Just trying to grind, trying to get that YouTube grind.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think the only reason that I shouldn't say the only reason, at least immediately to me, one of the biggest reasons that I can think of as to why our outlooks on handling videos and like timeline wise is a little bit different. I think is because if I'm honest, like if I was doing the kinds of things that you did, I could also see myself constantly being like, "Ooh, I have this idea," and then I can immediately get to writing something and develop an idea, and then go from there, and then go through the editing process. I think my problem is that like the reason that I'm a little bit slower on video uploads is because there is a lot of buildup I have to go through, like an insane amount of buildup that I have to go through before I can even begin to start writing about something. like, like in the case of the Hollow Knight video, it's like, all right, I've put 24 hours into this game, and I think I probably still have like an additional 10 or something I have to go through before being able to even beat what I'm assuming is the base game, let alone whatever DLC is out there in the world. And only then do I even have the capacity to say, okay, now I understand the context of where all of this music is playing. Maybe now I can start talking about it. I can start listening to the soundtrack like separate from the game and just listen to the technical aspects. And then once I get to that point of being able to, I'm like, okay, now I've done the whole script writing thing. Now I have to go back and play the whole game again. Like it's so much time before I can even start to begin the like editing process.
Yeah, because your videos are also way longer. So like I'm pretty sure for you it's like an even bigger commitment if I'm gonna talk about this, like you have to like basically sign a contract where you're like, okay, I'm gonna finish this because it's gonna like Deep Rock Galactic, that's like what, a 2-hour video. Then you had the Seekers of the Storm, which I mean, I know you love Risk of Rain and you made the previous video, but it's also like, okay, I'm gonna do this right now, and I'm not gonna stop till I do this. What's funny is that when I was finishing, I think it was a Risk of Rain video, I just thought for like a day or two, like, okay, what's next? And I kind of had Battlefield as like a it's not as an important idea as other ideas I had in mind for my next video.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? Hail Mary, let's just do a Battlefield video. And it turned out to be like a really huge success. Which is, it's funny how it works. Like you might have a video that you absolutely love to bits and it'll do like garbage. But then you have one which is like, yeah, you like it, but it's not like you didn't like it like that other video. But that one blew up and you're like, bruh.
You're like, all right, cool, awesome, thanks. Yeah, it's
like, oh, okay, guess I'll just make stuff now.
Yeah, I think, I guess, there's what was the point I was trying to make? Crap, I had two tangents. I'll go on the first one first. Just to give people a peek, if anybody's even listening this far into the episode, at some point I've made the very ballsy move that I want to go and tackle the modern Doom games and their music. And then I looked at all three of the soundtracks combined, and they're 12 hours long in total. And it's like actually 12 hours of substance. It's not like a minute 30 loop or 2-minute loop that they play twice and then that's the song. Like it is a full song from start to finish, and I'm so insanely scared to figure out how the hell I'm even going to tackle something like that.
Yeah, I'd shit my pants too if I had to do that.
Like I kind of just took inspiration
like,
from a content creator I like who did his stuff.
And like
fuck
songs that go everywhere. Like like I also thought like I thought about that with the Minecraft OST because like there's actually way more. I actually wanted to make a separate video maybe in the future where I tackle all of the music that wasn't made by either C418 or the guys in the modern era, because like the console editions of the game have their own different music and it's all like way different to what you think Minecraft sounds like. And some people might remember, some people might not. But then it's just like, okay, I have to like, it's not like Minecraft where I already know like all of the songs. And I'm just like, okay, let me scan my brain. Okay, these ones are good. These ones illustrate my point, and these ones I really like. So I'll put these on. Now I have to like, okay, scan like the whole, I think it's like 5-hour albums they have for the other parts of the game.
Holy.
And it's just like, oh, this is going to be a slog. But I'm going to do it eventually. I'll do it. Because like nobody's talked about that. I think it's really awesome when you get to find an idea that nobody's ever done. So you're like, hey, I'm the first.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
actually said something completely new.
Yeah, and people really like when you explore things that most people don't know about when it comes to a song. Like, people really love when you explore out of bounds in a horror game. They love when you look at all of the unused assets for Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, they love when they're like, oh, there's this game that I already really enjoy. Now here's this person telling me about this whole extra, like microcosm of stuff that I didn't even know they had. This is awesome.
Yeah, no, it's like getting that peek behind the curtain. That's why people like love those. Yeah, what those out of bounds clips and glitches and like stuff like Did You Know Gaming, which they always have like inside a video. They have like, oh, if you actually saw the files for the video game, you'll find like this funny joke or some stuff like that. Like this stuff you didn't know about. People always like when you like something, you kind of want to learn everything about it. Kind of like when you listen to a new band or play a new game and you're like, okay, I want to know who did this and like what's the thing behind it.
Exactly.
So getting a peek behind the curtain is like that's fun, and I wanted to actually watch that, so I'm entertained. And that's how many channels roll.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like secrets and like Easter eggs.
Yeah, there was actually something I was thinking of recently. This only tangentially falls in the same place. But, you know, we've talked about Team Fortress 2 a lot. There's a content creator that I like that explores really insane topics about Team Fortress 2, such as like, what if Team Fortress 2 weapons could headshot, and things of that nature. Like, what if Team Fortress 2 buildings had no level cap? What if what's another good one? I don't know, like finding out that you can use
YouTuber, because it sounds familiar.
Great Blue.
Great Blue, yeah, of course it's Great Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think didn't he recently like make one like, oh, I redid Two Fort or something like that?
Yeah, he remade all of Two Fort into making it like a more bearable map, like a more well balanced, like fun to play on map and whatnot.
Yeah, like a less like infinite stalemate map.
Yeah.
Yeah, not an infinite stale.
But another thing that he did, if you've probably seen this video because this video blew the fuck up, he did what if Team Fortress 2 weapons didn't have any downsides, where he effectively just said, if there's a red line, where he said, if there's a red line of text on this, I'm going to remove it. And then he made another video that was like his actual experiences with playing it. They were just like a little bit more candid from the streams that he was doing. And he said something like, this experiment was really cool because you got to find out like little inconsistencies with the way that Valve chose to balance and code and list out upsides and downsides for their weapon. So like, all of the head collecting weapons don't specify that they lose all of their heads on death, but the Frontier Justice does as a downside, which is why the Frontier Justice was stronger than those other weapons when you remove all the red downsides. And he was like, this is fascinating because you get to analyze the game that closely and figure out, like, you always understand in your mind that these head collecting weapons function the same way, but then you realize one of these things is slightly different from the other in this hyper specific scenario that would never happen in the game, but it's really cool.
Yeah, and getting to understand like all those design decisions that's why I really like Valve, because like a lot of their games have that developer commentary, which is like I distinctly remember as to why they chose not to have grenades in TF2, and like just all those tidbits, like, okay, they considered having grenades, but then they thought like having everybody have a throwable wouldn't be like the best for balance and stuff like that. It's just like, I think it's super interesting because like we love these games, and it's like, oh, okay, so this is why they didn't go that way, and that's why we're not in that parallel universe where TF2 has grenades and throwables. Or with Portal, like Valve is just really good at like being a company for the players, despite everything like that's on Steam and like all of that stuff. Like
the games,
that's a product. Their games, the games, bro.
Yeah,
like everybody knows Valve games are always peak. Like honestly, except the card game Artifact, I think.
Yeah. Why? I don't know. Card games seems like a weird route to take after all the other games you've made. But whatever. It's none of my business.
Yeah. I never thought I'd like card games till I played Balatro, honestly.
I never thought I'd be into gambling until I played Balatro.
That's what I'm saying. That it's like the cure for gambling. Like you're telling me I can have the same dopamine without actually losing money? That's insane.
Incredible.
And to be fair, I didn't even know how you played poker. That like I didn't know like exactly what the table, like, oh, a full house is worth this, a flush is worth this, two pair, etc. I knew the basic rules, but then and then I was also like, okay, so I don't really like poker nor solitaire. I don't like cards, but it's a roguelike, so let me try it out. And then after that, it's just like Infinite Bliss, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way a game is this good.
Yeah.
I get it now. It's like that picture of what's the actor's name where he's like, I get it now.
Danny DeVito?
Nah.
Is he the one that?
Danny DeVito, yeah. Danny
I think
DeVito.
he's the one that does that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the one. He's like, oh. Yeah, I felt like that after playing like Balatro after a week. When I got like after Ante 8 and it's just like E to the power, I'm like, I did it. I did it.
I beat the game, kind of.
Yeah. Okay, but now play till gold stick on every single deck.
That's hard. I don't want to.
Yeah. I hate the higher stakes. But it's fun because that like micromanaging, I never thought I'd be that into it, but I'm like, oh, okay, keep track of your rentable jokers or the perishing jokers, and then like, okay, are we doing a flush round? Because you're like such a noob and you always go for the easy strat, and you're just gonna pick 50 Jupiters off the planet cards, or are you actually gonna do something with your life and do like a 2-pair build and stuff like that? It's a fun game. It's a fun game.
Yeah, Balatro was also one of those games that made me realize that, like, I don't know, when you code down to that kind of level of how they handled it, where it's basically like the game functions entirely from left to right, from cards to jokers, you start to realize like how interesting some of the different interactions are. And it wasn't until playing modded Balatro that I realized that like some of these rules that otherwise would be I don't even know how to properly explain this without just explaining the example. So the Psychic requires that you play 5 cards, which in Balatro is basically just play a full hand. In modded Balatro, though, you have like certain mods allow you to be able to play more than 5 cards. And I learned the hard way that doing that against the Psychic on modded Balatro makes the hand not count. So they really did strictly say you cannot play 5 cards, not some other weird thing within the code.
Yeah, not like yeah, exactly. So even if you could do 6, it wouldn't be like,
it still doesn't count that. Yeah, so like things like that I find fascinating for how the game handles.
That's why mods are cool, because like you have, especially with a game like Balatro, which is very logic based. It's like, okay, how is this gonna affect the logic? Like, how is this mod? Is this mod gonna like work as I think it's gonna work, or is it gonna have like a special rule integrated when you use a certain joker? It's fun. I should really play modded Balatro.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if you think you're able to find something in that video to find something in that game to turn into a video, because a lot of people...
I was gonna do your thing. I was gonna like do whatever you did on the sound design and like why the music is so good. But everybody's made that. Everybody's made like why the Balatro main theme is so cool and makes you feel like you're fucking floating and like high and all that shit, all the synth being like whoa, all that stuff. It's already been done. And I'm like, damn it, why was I so late to this game? And why was I so late to YouTube? But that just means there's new stuff that's gonna happen and new video opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I was in the middle of making that Balatro video, I saw a person on YouTube who it showed up in my feed almost in some like twisted or like cruel twist of fate of another person who made exactly the same type of video that I was, analyzing the same sort of thing. And I was like, God damn it. Now what am I supposed to do? And then I realized that what he was doing was significantly different. Because he understands.
Everybody's gonna hate me because they're gonna say you copied this guy.
That's why I get ahead of the curve and I go, yes, commenters, I've seen this video before. I'm gonna reference it in my video because I think the information they provided is really cool. Because he gets down to it from like a sonic standpoint and like a like an audio engineering standpoint of like how certain things were. Like, this motherfucker found out that the Balatro theme used to be a lot faster and was deliberately slowed down because that reduces the the sample rate of the entire song, which means that it literally by design tames the high end so that it doesn't like fatigue your ears from too much high end energy. And I was like, how the fuck do you figure that out?
Wow.
I need to talk with this guy because he's a genius.
So is that maybe okay? It might have just been like the arrangement they did for the game. It wasn't the Game Awards, or was it like BAFTA? With the one they did for Balatro with the horns and everything, that was faster and that was just like so magical. Have you heard that version before?
Yeah, and the only thing I had to say about it when I heard it was because I think the one that I know from the Game Awards was played with like the whole orchestra, and the exact one thing that I had to say about it in the video that I made was that I didn't like it as much because it wasn't in 7.4. Again, it sounded weird.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Not my time signature.
Ah.
Bro, I actually just remembered because I was watching when I watched your Risk of Rain video, I remember like, I also realized, oh, thank you for sending the video.
You're welcome.
But he really, like, Chris just loves not doing 4-4, you know? He just loves going everywhere. And I'm like, I can't wrap my brain, like, trying to find, like, where the measure starts and stuff like that. Just like, oh my God, this guy is insane.
Yeah, if it wasn't for
that's what
Ultra Kill,
makes
I
it
would
sound
have
so-
become some used to it personally.
Yeah, I have a confession. I did play Ultra Kill, but I think I only got to like, is it World 2 or like World 3? Didn't like it as much as I thought I would. It was
fair.
addicting, but for some reason I dropped it and I just never came back. But I really loved the coin gun, the one where you throw like the coin. That one's really fun.
Yeah. If I was able to do this faster, I would show you another photo. That coin is based off of like a real Swedish coin, and because of how well these Ultra Kill videos did, and how much I enjoy the music and like, I don't know, the game in general just being like actually having a fairly big impact on the gaming community, I actually have that Swedish coin tattooed on my arm as well. So,
Man, that's fire.
but no, it's fair. It's fair that
No.
like Ultra Kill is not your type of game. Like you have game preferences.
Yeah, I
Who
don't know
cares?
what it was. Honestly, that's the thing. Like, I don't even know what wasn't, because like the art style is gas, the gameplay is gas, but it was just something that just made me not click on play again. I don't know. It didn't cook me as much as I thought it would, but it was still really fun while I played.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Might give it another shot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you think it might interest, I mean, I don't know when the last time you played the game was, but it's gone through a fair bit of updates since a lot of people.
Let me check. It's gonna take a while, but I'm gonna open up Steam to see when my
He's
last.
gonna go through and sift through his folder. Yeah, it's like.
But I've heard it's been having lots of updates. Like, they basically just shipped like an unfinished game and they're finishing right now. Like, what's the deal with that?
I mean, kind of. I think the idea was that the developer of the game like knew he had a really good idea on his hands and was like, well, I want people to be here with me during the whole development process of it. And then when the game was like in a, at least, I mean, I wouldn't really call it a tech demo by any means, but you can almost think of it as like a playable demo that they were constantly updating. Or no, I wouldn't quite call it a playable demo because you still had to like pay for the game. But yeah, the idea is that like, I think his thought was like, I have such a good gameplay idea on my hands that as long as I can refine it at the point of like giving it to people to play it, it'll give them time to like play the game fully. And they've proven, like, I'm generally of the belief that especially when it comes to AAA games, don't buy the game based on what it could become later, buy it based on what it is now. Like, you can buy it on launch, just don't buy it based on what they say it will be in the future. Buy it based on what it is now.
Yeah, don't think that they're like, like everything's gonna be fixed and there's gonna be way more content. No, like, buy it as it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I would even say the same thing for certain indie developers as well, just because, like, I don't know, maybe they don't have the time, they run out of resources, maybe they don't physically have the capability to fully update the game, so they can't. But I think a lot of people were really into the gameplay loop that Ultra Kill had to offer, and I think it came from and was published by a studio that's proven that they're going to keep giving you updates to your game until it is fully finished.
Yeah, they managed to reel in the community because they are actually doing like all the stuff like everybody would be expecting them. It's like literally the good ending where it's like, oh, they're gonna make it like longer and better, and they actually did. Like, they did turn themselves. They upped the ante to ante 9 or something.
Yeah, no, I mean they actually did.
Yeah, I'm looking at my Steam right now. Last time I played was in 2022.
Oh, okay. So that was actually wasn't
and on May. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been like a big while.
Yeah, that was. I mean, yeah, that's like. I mean, yeah, the game has gotten a significant amount of updates since that point, but at least from my understanding, based on the point at which you got the game, is probably when when Layer 6 was released, and they may have had another like Prime Sanctum, as they call it, which is it's just a super difficult level. I actually want to look at when P2 was released, because it's possible you may have not been around for that. The point is is that by the time I picked up the game was in like the beginning or middle of 2023 when they did have almost all the same content as when you were playing the game. Um, I think I'm just a big fan of like movement games, so that game really hooked me, as well as like weapon combinations and whatnot. But point is, since that point when you played the game, there have been a fair bit of updates. So if you think it might be interesting to you, I implore you to give it another shot. But if it's not your type of game that hooks you, that's also completely reasonable. Like, not going to be like one of those people that are like, "What do you mean you don't like this game? Are you insane?" And then I threaten your family because their community is a little aggressive.
I will force you to love this game.
But no, that's fair. I we have tangentially gone through almost all of the questions that I've had, which is great because it means that I don't have to like make some awkward break in the middle of the conversation just to transition to the next topic. But one of the things we haven't really talked a whole lot about yet is like the general workflow of the videos that you make. Because like for me, I play a whole game, I listen to the whole soundtrack, I maybe play the game a couple times over if it's an easily replayable game that doesn't take 25 hours of my life. I listen to the music personally, separately, outside of the context of the game. And then at that point, I start writing. Once I write and I'm done, then I record. Then I get all the gameplay, edit the gameplay, do overdubs if I have to. That's the video. What is your video making process?
Okay, so usually you skip the first part because I'm mostly speaking. Okay, not that much because I still replay the games to just get another feel and like fresh eyes. Because if I Battlefield 1, I did play it like a lot during 2024, but then it was more like, okay, I gotta kind of go back into it to actually like think of what I want to say to add value to it. Okay, so it's usually I already have the game played, or I'm gonna play just a little bit. I do the script. After I do the script, I used to record. Before I didn't show my face, so it would just be like one hour where I would just like sit in a closet and like start talking.
Yeah.
After that, okay, you got it. Then it's editing, which is takes a lot of time because like I have to get a lot of footage from YouTube and then it's like conceptualizing, like having what you want to display, like. So my brain has this idea of what I want it to look like, but then like it's trying to match it is what sucks. Because like especially when I was starting, because I used DaVinci Resolve and like I was kind of familiar to it before, but I really didn't have that. I did have experience editing because I used to do like some stupid little movies with my friends when we were younger, like some skit. Okay, yeah, like we did a 20-minute short, but when that's besides the point. Editing wise, I slowly got the gist of it, and like it took a lot of time because at the very beginning I was like, okay, how to use a transition, how to use an effect, and like all of the simplest stuff that people do in like 2 seconds now, I had to learn manually. And so, yeah, I got the script, I got the dub. I would always record till I had like the perfect takes. I would record various takes of me saying the same thing just in case one of them fucked up or didn't sound that good.
Yeah.
So I would almost never go back to redub. Now, the problem was, for example, in my Minecraft video, the mic I had from that studio, because that's like a friend's podcast studio. So I got that. Like, fortunately, he was like cool, and I'm like, oh yeah, you can just come in and like record. But the mic wasn't really that well set up, so it sounded like garbage. And I was like, no, the whole video's screwed because like I recorded everything over there, and then it's gonna be like if I record at home, there's gonna be a huge sound disparity between the me at the studio recording versus me at home. But then I found out about an AI that basically like it uses a previous recording of yourself as a base, and then it just turns a recording you already have and it just makes it in that previous recording style. So every time I was on screen, I actually used an AI to help it like fix the audio because no amount of EQ was gonna save my garbage audio from the studio.
Yeah, you're just maintaining like a sonic that was really consistency with that.
Exactly. Yeah, because like I don't want it to be I think audio is more important than video. If you have a good it's better to have like a really crisp audio and have like a, I don't know, 720p footage than to have like 4K footage and like shitty audio.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of people will have stuff in the background, so it's kind of insufferable if you have bad audio.
True, exactly. So yeah, that's basically it. Script write, which takes like, I don't know, 1 to 2 days. then record. Sorry, which takes like, I don't know, it depends, but it's usually like a day or two. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna cough.
No worries. I'm hoping that people can't hear the fireworks that are
And
going on in the background over here.
yeah, and then there's editing, which takes about a week, 2 weeks. Which, yeah, it's hard. It might also just be that I don't know every macro yet, and like I really honestly want to like get someone to just watch me edit and be like, no, you could do this like 5 times faster doing this and stuff like that. Because editing's like the longest and most frustrating chunk of content I have to do. But after that, it's like, okay, I finished. And I always do the thumbnail at the end. I should start doing them at the beginning, but I really think that it can help me encapsulate everything that I talked about in the video and in the script in like just an image. And I usually make like one thumbnail, maybe even 2 or 3 different variants, and run an A/B test, or just like even ask my friends like which one looks more clickable, and then that's what I choose. And after that, I wait for it. Somebody told me that leaving your video for a full day before it actually comes out, like leaving it unlisted, is better for the algorithm. So I do that, and the next day I just upload.
Oh, nice. Yeah, though, I mean, at least in terms of that very last part, like the main thing that I use, I'm so like, I upload my videos in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week, which I don't know if that's good or not. I don't know anything about how YouTube is going to calculate like how we should push this out depending on the time it's released. But because of that, and because of the fact that I'm at work in that exact time period when the videos release, I'll usually have it like, I'm like, okay, it's done, it's ready to go. I have my thumbnail, I have everything ready to go. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube and just schedule it for 6 days out from now, or however, whenever it needs to come out. I don't know if like it should be an unlisted for at least a day, or if it should be unlisted for only a day. But that's one thing you might be able to do to circumvent that, is just like upload it when it's ready, and then just schedule it for the whenever you want it to come out.
Yeah, that's kind of what I already do. Because like, so what I do is like, if I still don't have a clue when I'm gonna upload it, then like I have it all done. I upload it, I have it unlisted, and then it's like, okay, I don't know. I usually think like it. I think for me personally, I find that Thursdays are a really good day to upload your video, because then you have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for people to watch it.
Yeah.
And I think more people might tune in. I don't know. That might just be like schizo rambling, because YouTube says it doesn't matter.
I say the same thing. Yeah.
I do believe it slightly matters, because like the first 3 days can be really crucial to a video success. But I still don't know, bro. I've only made like 8 videos, so my understanding of the algorithm might be way different than someone else's. But yeah, and then if I do have an idea when it's gonna come out, then I schedule it, like change it from unlisted to scheduled, and just let it pop when it comes out.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I am also using DaVinci Resolve, because it's so far been the platform that's treated me the best, and I don't have to pay them for it, which is great. Or if I wanted to get a studio, I could pay them once, but I'm not dealing with no damn subscription model, even if I'm using.
Yeah, no, that's why I hate. That's why I've never used Premiere.
Yeah, Premiere was like the first like big boy video editing software I got to use. And then I just had a friend who was editing for him, who got into DaVinci Resolve, and I don't even think I had heard about it at that point. But I was like, hey, I mean, I'm always willing to try new things. I think I've gone through 4 different video editing softwares just to land on DaVinci. So I was like, hey, I mean, why wouldn't I just give it a shot? And so far it's just, I think, been more intuitively like correct for me. All of that is to say that, like, I don't know, we have known of each other's existence for a very short amount of time, and have been talking on Discord for an even shorter amount of time. Truly, since you're just now getting into the YouTube game, if you do want to like have somebody look at the way you're editing videos, or if you're curious about like, what's a faster way that I can do this thing, if you want, you can send it over to me, and I can try and give you some information if I have anything. Just throwing it out there.
I'll think about it, because like, yeah, especially because you've been in 4 different softwares, so you've got to know like way more. Like, you've got macro knowledge, you've got like meta knowledge on like editing and how to get things to work your way. That might be interesting. So yeah, I might, I don't know, maybe record a time lapse and commentate over it, or just like record a short segment of me editing, because there's a lot of stuff that I think that I'm doing that it might like I'm doing it the dumb slow way. Somebody else got this in 3 minutes. It took me an hour to like. Sometimes
Yeah.
I just want to do like a simple effect, like, oh, a timeline that's scrolling by, and it takes me like an hour because I gotta look it up on YouTube, then try and do it, then fail, then try again. But sometimes you just need somebody to tell you, like, oh, how come you didn't see this? And then like I'm like, oh, that's how you do it.
Yeah, there's certain things that I certainly have the knowledge of. I will say one thing that I like to implement in my videos, but I don't know an efficient way to do it. You know the thing where people will have the video and then it will smoothly transition to zooming out onto the timeline to like show them something? I don't know a good way to do that. I feel like every time I try, it always just ends up with like blurry ass footage. And the one time that I was able to get it to like mostly smoothly work was in the Deep Rock video that I made. And like, I don't think most people could tell that like it was kind of, it transitioned into something choppy, but I could see it and I was like, ah, shit, this sucks.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Viewers don't notice all the gripes that you have with your videos. Like, because when I don't like looking at my videos again, because every time I see them, I either cringe at my voice or I'm like, oh, this edit could have been way better. I remember struggling with this a lot and I never got it to work. But other people would be like, no, it looks fine. You know?
Exactly.
And it's good to be critical of yourself because we get to grow and learn. But just keep that in mind that sometimes it's just like us being like us, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But I do get where you're coming from. That's why I think it's good to like talk to other people about this. Because I also wanted to ask you, like, maybe after the call, your OBS settings. Because my files on OBS when I'm recording gameplay, they are chunky. Like for like 15 minutes, they might be like 4 gigs or something insane. And I'm like, there's gotta be another way to make them way.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look at that.
Like,
I've kind of sort of tried optimizing my OBS for the ability to stream and to be able to record, so that might slightly influence like certain settings that I have. But that almost sounds like you just have like either it's like recording in a codec that's like super hefty, or maybe it's just like the file size that you're recording, or like the resolution or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll check that later. But
Yeah.
just for record, I think I use H.265, which is like the hardware accelerated one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely have to take a look at it.
Yeah, we'll dive into that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody came here for me to be like, oh, okay, so if you look here in this setting, you can find that your OBS is...
DJ, you're playing tech support.
Actually. No, what I was going to say is... what was I going to say? Damn, I don't remember. There's also... I think there's also a certain magic in like... Yeah, there are faster ways to do this kind of thing, but I've become so ingrained in the way that I do this thing that's a little longer, but I've learned how to do it really fast. So there may be some instances like that where you're, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just doing it your way, which is not technically the fastest way to do it, and may get you like a weird look if somebody's looking at you like editing for whatever reason. But it's like, hey, this is how I do it. It works really well, and I'm able to do it really fast, really methodically, really like clockwork almost. So we'll have to see.
Same thing with Photoshop. Like I see lots of people achieve the same exact effect, just doing it different ways. So it's like math. Like that's old ass meme, which is like, oh, when you did the problem but with a different process and like you got it right, and the teacher's like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically that.
Yeah, but yeah, I like helping people that I know that make videos, like make them better, whether that be audio balancing, whether that be general audio levels for like how loud the whole project is, whether it just be, oh, you did this thing, I do that thing a lot as well. How do you do it? I'd be curious to see if either one of us has like a better way to do it to make things easier for the future, like me with that whole damn zooming out to the timeline thing. So
we're definitely gonna have a long talk about this after the call.
Incredible. Because you mentioned DaVinci Resolve, I'm also curious if there are other programs that you've gone through in the past to make videos. If so, what are they? And then as like an overarching question, just of all of the video softwares that you have used, what are some things that you really like and dislike about using them, whether it be an effects standpoint, workflow, speed, UI, hotkeys, anything like that?
Okay, so what's the iMovie from Mac?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty simple, straight to the point, super unintuitive when you want to do like things just the way you want them. Like you do have to give some control over to iMovie to be like, no, we're gonna crossfade for 0.5 seconds and 0.5 seconds only. Or like, no, you can't do this. Like, I don't even remember that much because I used to edit like, I don't know, 4 years ago on iMovie, and I didn't even edit that much, but it was infuriating. And like, it did give me sometimes like, oh, why can't I just do this and make it work? But it's also because like, oh, it's simple and it's supposed to be like quick and easy. And I never really dabbled in Premiere because I wasn't gonna pay for it.
Yeah, real.
So it's only been iMovie and DaVinci. And DaVinci, I've been using it for like, I don't know, 2 years, but not seriously till like February, right? But like, I was kind of used to it, but I did watch a lot of videos to like, okay, where's everything? Where's like my keyframe editor? Where's like all the different stuff? Where's the effects, the titles, and everything? It's not that different. No, okay, no, it is pretty different, but it's like, it's just the same, but like, it's like the difference between Android and Apple. Android just gives you more tools to work with, but Apple just works.
Yeah, they just try and make it simpler for their people. They do things operating under the assumption that their fan base will like it this specific way, and we're going to kind of minimize or make it really difficult to go find ways to adjust it and turn it into something different.
Yeah.
For the sake of simplicity, so people don't get overwhelmed with what they can do with it.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's not entirely unreasonable. I am glad to see people shifting over to DaVinci though, because one, paying a subscription for an editing software seems annoying, and two, the amount of like AI that they're trying to shove into everything, I'm like, I hate you guys. I don't stop doing that. Knock it off.
Yeah. There's some things that are good. Like as I mentioned, yeah, the AI voice thingy, I really saved my life. But then it's like, okay, but don't make your whole voice AI, just like, it's supposed to be a tool to elevate your creativity, not to produce like those like slop videos you've seen everywhere. Everybody's seen them.
Yeah.
Everybody likes them. I don't know why. Just like, yeah, I get it. AI sucks, but it's going to be part of the workflow now.
Yeah, I think my problem is just with, I think my problem with, this is going to be really short, and then I'm going to move on because I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. I think it's a big ass tangent. My general problem with AI is that anything generative should go to hell. I think it is the biggest punch in the face to creatives maybe ever. And anything that people are generally using it for the sake of their workflow, like, this helps me arrange my schedule, this helps me do this kind of thing. I'm like, I don't know. I think people are less aggressive towards that sort of model, but I've just never found a use for it. Like, I don't know. I think the process that I have for organizing things just kind of works. If I have ideas, I put them in notes. If I have an important event I have to go through, I schedule it with the people I need to go through, and then I put it in my calendars and I put it in my reminders. Like, I don't know that my workflow has ever been helped by anything that AI has ever done for me. And so the fact that they're just trying to put it everywhere, and it's just one additional button that I have to like maneuver around to go find what I was actually trying to do, is so annoying.
Yeah, no, that's true. It can be a slap to the face sometimes when you're like, I already know how to do my stuff. Don't mess with it. Yeah. But there are some people that benefit from it. But I digress. AI, it's like a big ass hole. Basically, AI bad, people good.
Yeah.
to sum it up, to not get into like a long tangent.
Yeah, exactly. But
by the way, like, I think I've only got like half an hour left, so maybe we should start wrapping things up.
Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, I was basically done here. I was actually, I guess, I was going to read through my notes and make sure I don't actually have anything that I need to ask anymore. Because I think
if you have any other, shoot, definitely.
I don't believe no. Everything here we've actually gone through, so this is perfect. Again, it just sort of tangentially happened through all the conversations. So, I guess the last thing I was going to offer one thing to you, and then ask you one small question that may end up going nowhere, and then I'll let you off the hook. So, I like to plant seeds in places to get people to know about what I do and to be able to just take part in helping other people make content that they like. I have a friend who's going to be doing, speaking of Ultra Kill, she wants to go through and do like an entire analysis of the game. And inevitably the music is going to come up because the music's really good in that game. And that's where she's going to turn to me for help. So I'm extending another sort of tool, being myself, to you, that if you ever, based on what you kind of understand about the way that I've handled music and videos about games that I like, if there's a game that you are curious or that you have some part of the music that you like want some help with talking about, or maybe if it's a game that we both share a joint interest for and you wanted to get my feedback or my inclusion or whatever regarding the music kind of thing, I'm totally on board to jump on because I find it fun to collaborate with other creators. So I'll just also throw that out for you if you're interested.
Dude, thank you. Like I'll definitely keep that in mind. Absolutely.
Nice, good.
And this goes both ways. Like same thing here. If you want, like, I mean, I don't know what you want me for because you seem to have it all figured out. But hit me up anytime you want to do something, and yeah, I'll think about some stuff.
Yeah, I just like collaborating with people. I might just shoot you a message one day about something that I think you might be interested in, being like, oh, hey, take a look at this. Maybe you haven't seen this before. Like when I go past a certain point with people of like conversation with them, it may not, okay, this maybe isn't the healthiest way to look at this, but like once I go past a certain point of conversation with somebody, I treat them at the very least like a business partner or like an acquaintance in a sense, but like on a really casual level. So I'll just be like, oh, hey, you ever played this game? You like this thing? I saw a random little video of like how they made this or some other random tidbit. I'll just like, I may go 3 weeks without saying anything because I'm just in my own little world, and then I'll see something and go, you know who might enjoy this? And then I'll send you the video. So that's kind of like the relationship that I have with people that I talk to on the show.
Okay. I'll keep it in mind.
But, nice. Yeah, I guess with that, especially given the fact that I sort of just dropped this podcast on your head out of nowhere, and then you sort of dropped this meeting date on me out of nowhere. I don't expect an answer to this, but like, I don't know. Do you have any questions for me before we roll out of here?
Dude, I really wanted to come more prepared and ask you some other stuff, but I'm sorry. I'm definitely sorry. And this is the thing, because like right now I'm talking and like I have no clue of any questions I want to ask you. But watch, the second we quit the call, I'm gonna have like 5 different questions like to ask you. It's just it pains me, but it happens. It happens.
It's fine. That's kind of just the nature with like how quickly this sort of thing happens. So yeah, no, that's fine. It's just like I know that, especially because some people follow my content at the same time that I'm following their content, they may also be like, well, I don't know if there's an appropriate time to ask him about this sort of thing. So I like to give people the option to just let out anything that they might be missing. But if you don't have anything right now, that's totally reasonable. That's my DMs are open for a reason.
Perfect. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe some other time we'll come back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's another thing that I like to do. Again. I like to revisit with people after some new developments have been made. And it seems like with you especially, there's a lot of new developments to be made. So there's a chance that 6 months or a year from now, depending on like what I see coming from you, I'll be like, you know what? Maybe it's time that I go revisit this and see how much things have changed for him and how his outlook on YouTube is different, and how he's still dealing with the Team Fortress 2 community after that one video or something. So, but no, that's good. Honestly, yeah, that's everything that I had. So I want to thank you for coming on this show and lending some of your time to me, because you're like the newest person that I've kind of become obsessed with their videos, of just like the level of quality that's come out of them and the way that you're able to word things in ways that make people feel a visceral sense of, relating to what you're talking about. So thank you for that. Do you have anything to plug? Any places where people can find you?
For now, just my YouTube. Just look up EXTNT. I'll probably show up. And I think that's everything. I should really set up some other socials, but those are coming soon. So yeah, just watch my videos, you dumb fucks.
No, realest statement ever said by a content creator ever.
and if you watch this far, like, hey, props to you. Thank you for listening all of our ramblings. Okay.
They love the ramblings on this show.
They love the rambles.
Yeah, that's where you can find this absolute goat over here. If you're looking for me, you can just look up DJ Cereal Sauce on anything, and everything has a link tree to take you to everywhere else. I have a Ko-Fi if you want to commission me for music. I've got a YouTube if you want to see my insane ramblings on music. I have a Twitch if you want to show up for like the once every month I stream, and I have a TikTok if you want to hear me complain about politics issues. Maybe don't go there. So that's where you can find everybody, and I think we're gonna get out of here. And I really need to go to my YouTube and make sure that people aren't pronouncing my name wrong.